Our first speaker will be Laura Murphy. She is a mother of 4 who has been fighting against inappropriate material in English literature and in the school libraries for years, and now sits on the committee which oversees the sex education program in Fairfax County. Laura Murphy.
Good morning. First, I would like to thank the organizers of this event and my fellow speakers here this morning. For those of us living in Fairfax County, we are past due for this type of dialogue. Second, as we touch on sensitive topics, it goes without saying that all people deserve dignity, respect, and compassion. While students are bombarded with mixed messages about sex, it is our responsibility to present the facts in a clear, impartial, and scientific manner. I was asked to speak on the family life education curriculum, assigned literature and English classes, and various programs and policies here in Fairfax County. While I would need 3 days to speak on these issues, I'll attempt to present a brief overview of these topics. Family life education. Last week during the family life education meeting, I made a motion to replace sex assigned at birth with biological sex. For those of you who may be hearing the term sex assigned at birth for the first time, it means simply that a baby's sex is assigned or chosen. Male or female gender is now in the mind of the beholder and can be something other than your biological sex. DNA, chromosomes, and internal and external genitalia are no longer relevant in determining sex. As a matter of fact, one committee member claimed biology is meaningless. The motion to replace sex assigned at birth with biological sex lost 3-21. Families lost more ground in FLE last week. The committee voted against teaching that abstinence is 100% effective in preventing the sexual transmission of sexually transmitted diseases. They voted to remove clergy from the list of individuals students could consult regarding questions of gender identity or gender orientation. And the committee voted against requiring instruction on the risks and side effects of contraceptives in a 9th grade lesson, as it may stigmatize students and discourage use. English literature. About 6 years ago, I discovered that my sons were assigned books in literature containing graphic descriptions of gang rape, incest, bestiality, and pedophilia. Some of these topics were covered in 10th grade and others in 12th. We are not talking about classics like Romeo and Juliet or The Great Gatsby. We are talking about Toni Morrison's Beloved, The Bluest Eye, and many others. When I first reached out to the Virginia Board of Education to send them direct quotations from these books, their computer firewall prevented them from seeing them due to mature language. The irony. Members of the Board of Education were protected, but not our children. When direct quotes from these books were read aloud by a Virginia state senator on the floor of the Capitol in Richmond, he was ordered to cease reading as the material was inappropriate and pages and interns were present. While this bill that provided parental notification of sexually explicit material passed both the House and the Senate with bipartisan support, Governor McAuliffe vetoed it 2 years in a row. This bill, if signed, would have simply notified parents of sexually explicit material in assigned reading and provided students with an alternative. If students were notified of sexually explicit material and could opt out in the health classroom, why could the same not also be true in the English classroom? Teachers still have the discretion to select and assign these books. Only parents would be notified of the explicit material and alternatives would be made available. I have made several copies of some of these quotations from the books, and it appears on that back table. Public Use Survey. Fairfax County Public School Use Survey measures risk factors and behaviors that influence the health and well-being of our students. Questions for grades as low as 8th grade include drug use, alcoholism, physical abuse, age of first intercourse, number of partners, use of contraception. Question 124 asks how old you were when you first had sex, followed by question 125. How many people have you had sex with? Question 128, did you use a condom? Question 129, what method of birth control did you use? And finally, question number 130 asked if you engaged in oral sex. I personally witnessed 6th graders commenting on question 97 where it asked about huffing or sniffing glue or aerosol cans. These students admitted they didn't know you could get high off sniffing glue, but word on the street is that some tested the concept after learning about it from the survey. The problems with this survey are many, but many of the questions are not age appropriate for 8th graders. It implies heightened sexual activity and gives students new ideas on how to experiment sexually and how to use illegal substances. Libraries. Libraries within elementary and high schools are acquiring books on sexual topics at an alarming rate of speed. Falls Church High School, Hayfield Secondary, Fort Belvoir Upper School, and White Oaks Elementary all include the book I Am Jazz. This book describes the real-life experiences of a transgender child. This biological boy knew she was a girl, trapped in a boy's body at age 2, and shared her experiences about transitioning from a boy to a girl throughout the book. George, another book about a biological boy identifying as a girl, is in circulation at approximately 44 elementary and high schools throughout Fairfax County. In addition to mature themes of sexual identity and orientation, this book includes brief mentions of hormone therapy and surgery. Unfortunately, these books can be read and checked out by children as young as kindergarten, even though the earliest minimum suggested age range is between 3rd and 4th grade. Search results of transgender from FCPS library database suggest that there are 162 books on shelves, on order, or in the resource center. So what can you do? Our children are bombarded by those with a political, ideological agenda from K through 12. It is incumbent upon us as parents and citizens to educate ourselves and speak up. Whether speaking at school board meetings or emailing school board members, the superintendent, teachers, organizations, Board of Education, governor, or places of worship, we need your help. Talk to your children. Talk to your neighbors, your friends, and encourage those you know to advocate for their children by opting them out of FLE, opting them out of the public use survey, and in English literature where those assignments containing sexually explicit content is assigned. Thank you so much, and God bless.